Back inside the dome, moments away from kickoff between Colgate and Syracuse. These two regional rivals have been playing football for a long time. Colgate actually leads the all-time series by one single game. Their last win, though, came back in 1950. They don't play every year anymore, but certainly the people here in Central New York know these are two old rivals.
Yeah, they do, and it, like I mentioned in the open, I think this is a fun spot for Dan Hunt to be in. He can tell his kids, he can pump them up, he can really play up that chip on their shoulder, and he knows he's got a veteran group that's not going to be scared by the moment. That's a huge thing. You come into a venue like this, a guy like Dino Babers and his fast offense, and they're not going to be scared.
There's Dino Babers, the first-year head coach, spent his last two at Bowling Green, where he went 18-9 combined, including 10-3 last year, won the Mid-American Conference Championship and went on to the GoDaddy Bowl. Spent the 2 years before that at Eastern Illinois, and so he is accustomed to quick fixes and getting results at his new venue.
Absolutely. I've worked a number of Bowling Green games in the past, and they are fun games to watch. Once his system gets implemented and running, it's one of the more entertaining products you'll find in college football.
Cole Murphy, 6'3" junior place kicker from California, about to kick off the 2016 season. And it's a touchback. The Raiders will have the football first. And coming out to run the offense, Jake Melville, a senior from Sparta, New Jersey, second-team All-Patriot League last year. And he is a dual-threat quarterback who actually led the team last year, Matt, in rushing yardage.
Yeah, he had such a resurgent season. The improvement he did in year, much less what the coaching staff believes of him from this offseason, was really huge for this program. He's a guy that threatens you both ways, as you mentioned, arm and legs.
Colgate a year ago went undefeated in the Patriot League, and they are the preseason #1 pick, ranked as high as 12th nationally in FCS, and Melville keeps the football on first down, and he picks up 6.
And we know now with this transition to Dino Babers' new style that you're going to see a lot less of the blitzing defense that you've seen in years past from Syracuse. More of a Tampa 2 kind of look, 4 down rushers, all of whom are very young. But that's where these gap responsibilities thing come into play. Nice chunk play to start things off there for Colgate with that read option element.
Brian Ward, the new defensive coordinator for Syracuse. And he was a big part of the Tampa 2 implementation. The starting down linemen, Chris Slayton, Stephen Clark, Caton Samuels, Kendall Coleman, a lot of youth along that front line on defense for the Orange. On 2nd and 4, Melville plenty of time. Incomplete. John Mataluna, the intended receiver. There was some question coming into the year as whether Mataluna would be available to play. There was an NCAA eligibility issue that was cleared up just before the start of the year, and Colgate certainly needs their senior from Gladstone, New Jersey, as a big part of this offense. 3rd down and 4. Alex Grinewald wide to the right, looking that way. A lot of contact with the ball in the air. Incomplete on the coverage, Corey Winfield, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, you said it, Doug. There was a lot of contact on that play. He rode him right out of bounds. They're going to let it go. Maybe just call that uncatchable. That thing was well out there. But an unusual approach there by Colgate, getting a nice chunk play to start things off, and then going to the air twice in a row on shot plays. Really being aggressive there with their play calling, where they've yet to show that Syracuse defense could stop them on the ground.
Josh Serra, sophomore from Coral Springs, Florida, from his own 20, punts it away. Grizzly Esteem going to let it bounce. And it rolls down to the 15-yard line. A tremendous punt for the Raiders.
Yeah, and winning field position, we know, Doug, is obviously a huge thing when you're coming in trying to get the upset playing up 11.
Well, the Syracuse defense heads back out because there was a penalty that was called, a 5-yard penalty against Shaheen Cullen, and so it's a Colgate first down. In the backfield with Melville, James Holland, a junior from Royal Palm Beach, Florida. Second-team All-Patriot League. He rushed for 16 touchdowns a year ago. Pass complete on the sideline at the 44-yard line. A pickup of 8 by Alex Grindelwald.
Well, there's a great example of their ability to sort of use Jake Melville a lot of different ways as an offense. He's a right-handed quarterback. They're willing to roll him out against his arm, throw across his body, complete a big ball on first down. Much like the series before, though, they got their chunk play early. Can they capitalize and keep these drives going?
Second down and 2. Keep your eye on Mataluna, who is split wide right. Instead, it's Melville who takes a good shot and picks up another Colgate first down.
Well, Doug, you and I worked the FCF playoff game with Colgate a year ago at JMU, and I use the analogy then. I think it still stands. A little bit of Jake Plummer and Jake Melville, because of his ability to sort of fall forward and using that same metaphor, sort of, or snake through. So he's a guy who is willing to go into that second level of linebackers and take hits, but stay healthy and get back up and play quarterback.
And Melville out of the shotgun from midfield. Pass complete. Another good pickup on first down for Colgate. Gain of 7 for Nick Martinson, sophomore tight end from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Well, in talking to Colgate offensive coordinator Chris Young yesterday, he talked about the fact that for Jake Melville, walkthrough day, where it used to be stressful for him, is now his laboratory to make suggestions and make this offense even better.
Right, less coach, hey, can I memorize everything? Hey, coach, I've got a suggestion. Well, what would work better?
Hand off to Holland inside, stacked up after a gain of 2, a little short of a first down. That'll bring up third and short.
You know that whenever we do these FCF games where they're going to be playing against a big-time ACC opponent like Syracuse, you really look to the interior line play. Who's going to dominate that level? They're going to get their run plays, Will Colgate, with the Jake Melville runs. Can they get them with the direct run with Holland and get some movement up front? That'll be a huge factor in this game.
Grindelwald wide to the left. Dual receivers to the right. The center is Andy Sims. And there's a first down by Holland. Well, this Colgate team can hurt you in a lot of different ways now.
They sure can, and it stresses an end-of-the-line player, especially, as you'll see here in the replay, your end-of-the-line player is a secondary player. These are the kinds of offenses are really tough to stop on 3rd and 1. You want to get them in 3rd and longer situations and force them into the air where they're a little less comfortable.
First and 10 at the Syracuse 38-yard line. Melville fires over the middle, complete. It's a first down to the 23-yard line to Alex Grindelwald.
Well, the one thing that there was a lot of discussion in the Syracuse community here going into this was the uncertainty with the defensive line. And we can say thus far Jake Melville has had clean pockets, picking it apart thus far, few nice downfield completions, and in part of that is because really his porch is clean. He's able to step into throws. He's not feeling pressure. There's no slide and reset. He's able to go with the ball where he wants.
Thomas Ives into the ball game, a 6'4" sophomore receiver, wide to the right. This drive started with Syracuse stopping Colgate, forcing a punt, but a penalty allowed the Raiders to keep the football. 3 first downs since that penalty. John Wilkins on the carry, senior from Wallington, New Jersey. Wallington's a guy, Matt, who has dealt with a lot of injuries the last couple of years. He scored 9 touchdowns as a sophomore. Last year more of a complimentary piece, but he still rushed for nearly 500 yards. Off play action, pass caught inside the 20 by Mataluna.
The real advantage that Syracuse has, obviously, in the Carrier Dome, and even a year ago, which wasn't a great year for Syracuse, they were good at home. They're getting the crowd quieted down. So a lot of these checks that Jake's got to make at the line, the quick looks he's got to make, there isn't the disruption down on the field that you expected. Now on third down, the place gets loud, but not so much on first and second to put them in position here to potentially get a conversion. This is where it gets different.
Third down and 6. Fakes the handoff to Holland. Melville, flush from the pocket. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Colgate. Owen Rocket gets the Raiders on the board first. Pretty good name for a wide receiver, Rocket, 5'9" sophomore.
Yeah, if you're going to start the season, throw the ball to Rocket, right? And Jake Melville throwing across his body. They had a bust in protection there. We've seen him have clean pockets throughout the day. He's rolling away from his arm side, throws across his body, delivers a ball that Rocket's able to go up and get. What a great little juice for a sideline from an FCF program. These are the kind of things you never want to give the little brother. You want to get them down early. So this is hope. Nice first drive there by Colgate.
Chris Puzzy has taken over the field goal duties for Colgate this year. At least to start the season, he makes the PAT. Jonah Bowman was an all-league kicker, but Puzzy has supplanted him and makes it 7-0. 12-play drive, 75 yards, covered 6 minutes, and Colgate up 7-0.
Today's lucky fans are Alan and Kim. Enjoy the game courtesy of Key Bank. Use the red key.
With the aid of a big penalty against Syracuse, Colgate marches down the football field to begin the ball game and begin the season with a touchdown, 7-0. And now Syracuse will get the football for the first time with Brisley Esteem and Jordan Frederick standing at their own goal line. Chris Puzzy will kick off for Colgate. End over end kick fielded by Esteem at the 6. He's out to the 20, still on his feet, tap dancing around the Colgate tacklers and out across the 20. Ben Hunt brought him down. Well, we don't really know what we're getting out of the Syracuse offense coming in here, but we certainly know, Matt, what we're getting out of the Colgate offense.
Colgate offense is led by Jake Melville. We know that Dan Hunt has so much faith in his young quarterback. He grew leaps and bounds a year ago. We saw him grow up before our eyes in that playoff run. And he comes out here against an ACC opponent on the road and scores a touchdown across his body. Big move there for the young guy. He had a lot of confidence on that field.
Quick pass complete. Irv Phillips, gain of 9 on first down. And, you know, Coach Babers says he's looking to snap the football every 16 or 17 seconds. So for our guys in the truck getting replays in is going to be a problem.
And one of the big questions here today was who are they going to go to beyond Steve Ishmael? Right off the bat, Irvin Phillips gets a reception. So keep the ball moving, keep things quick, find a lot of different options.
9 yards on first down. The motion man is Phillips. He cuts it up. First down yardage across the 35. Brought down to the 42.
Well, the presumption here is that there's going to be an athleticism gap, of course, but the pace is high again. Off and going.
Off play action. Another completion to Phillips from Dungy. He picks up about 6. And now the other side of this speed is the Colgate defense has to be ready to go every 16, 17, 18 seconds. And that can certainly wear on you, especially in the warmth and heat that we have here inside the dome.
Yeah, no one is immune, Doug. Both sides can get tired, no question. But you know that Colgate's been preparing for this, watching a lot of Bowling Green film, much more than Syracuse.
Dante Strickland was stopped on second down. There's a third down completion for a first. Irvin Phillips again, the junior from West Haven, Connecticut, looks very comfortable in this new offense.
And a great job there by Eric Dungy of just simply seeing the uncovered man. You're giving him off coverage, it's third and short, and you're able to turn and just pitch and catch and fall forward and get that first down. Really stressing Colgate here to get themselves lined up. Now we've got a man down.
Well, Matt, what do you think so far of this quick strike offense?
That's what you expect, and I think you see the stress that's going on Colgate's defense. I'm watching their secondary. All their defensive backs are standing off at 8 or 10 yards. You know, you don't have the option to get up and press or disguise. You just got to get lined up. Very difficult.
We'll step aside while they take care of Christian Hardigree on the field.
Syracuse first and 10 from the Colgate 43-yard line.
Back in the Carrier Dome, Christian Hardigree able to get himself up off the turf and walk back to the Colgate sideline while we were in break. Good to see he's all right. And right back at it, the Syracuse offense. Dungy going to the house. Touchdown! touchdown, Syracuse with a flag on the field. It's Amba Edetawo, the Maryland transfer.
Well, presuming Colgate was on top of their scouting report, Amba Edetawo was known to be the go-route guy. In the spring game, caught a couple bombs. He's the downfield guy, the real vertical threat in this offense, potentially transfer from Maryland. He just outruns the opponent. Got to play that from off coverage. His real ability is on top of the defense. You got to get on top of every route there, or he will do that each and every play.
Backup quarterback Zach Mahoney, the hold. And the PAT by Cole Murphy is good. As advertised, the Syracuse offense moves it right down the field.
Yeah, and oddly enough, the biggest play they got was after the large break. 5 positive plays, short plays, moving the ball efficiently, though. Colgate gets to take a deep breath. That should get you settled. That should get you into that off coverage. You don't want to get deep after you have an opportunity to stop and think about the upcoming play.
Well, I think Eric Dungy is going to like playing in this offense. 5 for 5 on the first drive, 78 yards, including a 43-yard touchdown strike.
There are a lot of smiles on that sideline because it's as advertised. You've seen what he did at another place at a different level, but he comes here and you practice. You gotta hope that there are believers. But you get out there in the very first drive and it's nothing but positive plays. That goes a long way reverberating down that sideline. Guys are like, oh, we can do this. This is going to be fun.
And this is against a Colgate team where their biggest strength might be their defensive line. They've got 4 all-conference guys, Pat Afriye, Alex Campbell, Brett Field, and Victor Steffen back from injury, and they couldn't do anything on that drive.
Yeah, Afriye is such an effective player, a guy who's been so disruptive, but you just got to hurry and get lined back up. Makes it difficult to make those disruptive plays.
Abu Darami out across the 15, spins to the 25. And that's where Colgate will take over as we're tied at 7.
Syracuse taken away by number 33, Marquise Hodge.
Here's a look at that drive. Just fast as we saw from up here in the booth. A lot of unusual plays. You see the little quick reverse there. Dive plays, quick pull out of the gut plays, and then we see a shot play after everyone sits down. It's really the uniqueness, the inventiveness, and the idea that you're hurrying to get lined up, again, as a defense, but not for what you just saw. A lot of inventiveness there, a lot of creativity by Dino Babers.
So Colgate's offense back onto the field. Jake Melville, the quarterback. Handoff on first down. James Holland able to pick up a couple of yards. Well, during your playing days at the University of South Dakota or in the NFL Patriots, did you ever have to go against an offense that was going this fast?
The Chip Kelly stuff was not around when I retired. I retired in 2009. I did not see this. North Dakota State was really the stalwart at our level, and they like to keep pushing you with the triple option stuff, but never at this pace. This is very new.
2nd down and 7. Melville going to tuck it and try to run. Nice job sniffing it out by Paris Bennett, junior linebacker from Detroit. And that'll bring up 3rd down and about 5.
No hyperbole here, but I do think this is a very critical moment for Colgate. You really had a nice first drive, but Syracuse just marches down the field, takes a little air out of the accomplishments you had initially. Now you get a 3rd down and manageable 3rd and 5. To get a conversion here, it says, hey, we're still alive.
Play clock down to 6. Rolling right. Putting it up in the air. Melville, little out of the reach of Thomas Ives, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
That's very aggressive play calling. They're going for shots. So Jake is now rolling to his arm side, and they've got levels, and both of the levels are downfield routes. This is a flag route, a 7 route, whatever you want to call it, but both of the elements are downfield elements. There was no under route. It was hit the deep thing or let Jake scramble, and he went for it all.
Cornerback Jonathan Thomas had safety help from Antoine Cordy. Josh Serra back onto the field. His first punt was brought back because of a penalty. Grizzly Esteem has to let it bounce right past him. And this is going to be a tremendous flip of the field for the Raiders.
Yeah, and those are one of the ones that you'll look on the scorecard tomorrow, the box score, and it'll look like an exceptional long punt, field flipping and all that. It was actually a pretty bad ball. The punt returners really got to make pains to go up and field that thing because there was an extra 20 yards of field position on it once he wasn't able to grasp it.
Well, here comes that Syracuse offense back onto the field. Its first possession, 6 plays all for gain. The big one, the long touchdown pass from Dungy to Edatawo. And there is Dungy, 6'3" sophomore from Lake Oswego, Oregon, who a year ago in the season opener here at the Dome against Rhode Island was thrown right into the fire as a true freshman thanks to injury. He's got another completion, and again, it's Irv Phillips.
Well, Irv Phillips is on fire, answering a lot of those questions we had in pregame of who was going to be that other target. Dungy feels very comfortable looking his way each and every time.
Well, Phillips and his team are viewed by the coaching staff as a couple of Swiss Army knives as they run the football up the middle with that Colgate defensive front ready for it.
I think it's really important for Colgate, quite frankly, to lay on the ball carrier. You know, and that, I mean, it's not being too dirty and doing it, but you really need to slow things down. If they grace you with a running play, keep them there. Catch your breath.
Well, Dante Strickland is the running back. Pass complete again to Edatawo. Do you expect to see more of these dinks and dunks? Or more of going for it as we saw in the touchdown pass?
I don't know how much flexibility Dungy is given, but he's getting off coverage each and every snap. I mean, he's got 8 yards of cushion there to really just flick it out and let it go.
And the Maryland transfer, Edatawo, again, able to get himself out to the 40-yard line, and another Syracuse first down, wrestled to the ground by Charles Carney.
We certainly don't know what the defense for Colgate's being coached, but if everyone's going to show off coverage, they're just going to take that until you take it away.
On the jet sweep, here comes Esteem, turns the corner at the 40 and chased out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and we've seen them do sort of a half-roll jet sweep and a full sweep there, go both directions. They're really going deep in the playbook. The game is young, but we've seen a lot of different things thus far.
Dungy still a perfect 8 for 8 passing, 105 yards. 5 of those 8 completions have been to Phillips, and now he catches his breath for a moment. The play clock under 20. Dungy bobbled it, then just has to cover up after a gain of maybe 1 or 2. Syracuse fortunate not to lose the football that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're getting off coverage. So you'll see here at the bottom of your screen when we go to the full wide look that all the wide receivers at the bottom are giving a lot of cushion. If Dungy wants to just turn and flick it, that has been positive gain every time they've gone to it.
3rd and 7. Dungy gets hit near midfield, and he comes about a yard shy of a first down. Now, will Dino Babers go for it on 4th? Indeed he will. This has been his M.O. at Bowling Green. Dungy around the end for a first.
Well, that's clearly something they decided in advance of this game because he was under center in a hurry and they were going for it on 4th down.
And that Colgate defense just trying to catch its breath and hang on. Off play action. Dungy, another completed pass, another first down. Steve Ishmael with his first reception of the night. The junior from Miami, the top returning receiver for Syracuse. On 1st and 10. Dungy, and he is nailed after bringing the football down. It's Kyle Diener, the senior captain from Boca Raton, first team All-Patriot League, and perhaps that will slow the Syracuse offense down.
Off this zone read, it was really one read, and he didn't have time to get to the second read because the defender was there in his face.
2nd team preseason All-American at the FCS level with his first tackle. Loss of 5 on the play, 2nd and 15. That's the first time the Orange has had a negative offensive play. Play clock down to 5. Down to 1. And Dungy completes the pass for another Syracuse first down. Or Phillips. Check that back to the original line of scrimmage.
That's what's called a tear screen. As we've mentioned, Dino Babers just continuing to pile on the different play types.
Third down and 9. Esteem and Editawo wide to the left. Eric Dungy gonna run it. Still on his feet at the 30. Breaks the tackle to the 25. He steps out of bounds for a Syracuse first down.
Great job there, Dungy, of finding a little space in the secondary. With a 3-man rush, it's so important that those 8 guys back in coverage converge quickly. This is something that should be a nothing play. Dungy gets yards.
Editawo.
Editawo used there with the quick look pass. That's different. We've seen him be the go guy. Now you tempt the defensive back to come up and stay and play honest.
Second down and 4. 3 receivers to the left. Looking that way. Dungy flush from the pocket. Pass complete. Irvin Phillips. And the Orange have another first down. It's first and goal at the Colgate 8-yard line.
First down, goal for the 8.
Cameron McPherson, senior tight end from right here in Syracuse, a graduate of CBA, into the football game. It's a running play. Dante Strickland tackled at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second and goal from about the 8.
Great play there at your read end. The guy that you're trying to read with the quarterback was able to hold the quarterback on the fake and still get down the line and make the tackle on the handoff.
Dungy, he's wrapped up for a loss of 2.
Dungy tackled for a 2-yard loss on the play.
Now I think the defensive player, Pat Afriye, may have been listening to you, Matt. I'm going to hold on to him for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa, catch your breath. It's the end of the first quarter. Syracuse and Colgate tied at 7.
First quarter of play, Syracuse 7, Colgate 7.
With Matt Chatham, I'm Doug Sherman at the Carrier Dome. Dan Hunt's Colgate Raiders scored first. Syracuse scored next, and the Orange knocking on the door as we begin the second quarter.
Yeah, there's got to be some acclimation that happens here for Colgate. We get to take a breath during the break. They get to take a breath too, and they get to say, okay, we've seen what they're doing. What's the best way to approach this kinetic offense that just doesn't stop moving? They actually changed from a 4-man rush to a 3-man rush in that drive, saying, hey, we're not getting there with a pass rush, you guys. You guys just control the pocket. We need more bodies on the back end. The one thing I'd like to see is if Colgate to have a chance is they need to stop playing so much off coverage. There's a lot of grace being given and a lot of free yardage. Syracuse is taking huge chunks of that.
And Editawo split to the left. Ishmael on the right. Grizzly Esteem in the slot. And we've got penalty marker. False start against the center, Jason Emmerich. How does the center get a false start?
Senior leader, really one of the big-time guys on this offensive line, especially coming out of a timeout. Coaches do not like that.
Third down. Into the end zone. Nice job of coverage. Alex Wisniewski. Pass intended for Irvin Phillips.
Really a player that I think that's aided by those extra 5 yards. I mean, they got knocked back and with the penalty, the false start, and they decided, hey, let's go ahead and take a shot. It's probably a little bit different play selection there if they hadn't been had those yards taken away from their series.
Cole Murphy with his first field goal attempt of the season. And it's through the uprights. Syracuse takes its first lead of the season after another impressive drive. It's the opening game of the Dino Babers era here in Syracuse. Orange 10, Raiders 7.
To be honest, you do enough college football these days. There's a lot of teams anyhow that talk about pace. We're watching the real deal. This is next level. This is the purest product.
On first down, Mo Neal, freshman, breaks through into the second level, still on his feet inside the 20. He's gonna go! Touchdown, Syracuse!
Well, these are the plays that can really take the air out of a team that's putting up a fight like Colgate. Bursts right into the secondary, but then breaks the tackles. You cannot have missed tackles. You have to put up a wall. It's just such an exceptional, explosive play. One-shot drive to put points back up on the board.
49-yard touchdown run by the freshman from Gastonia, North Carolina. He's a young man who had a scholarship offer from Mississippi State as a 9th grader. Big recruit for Syracuse. Most everybody in the ACC was in on him. And he committed to the previous coaching staff and stuck with his commitment. Wound up enrolling early here at Syracuse back in January. Went through spring football, and we were led to believe, Matt, that he was going to be one of the true freshmen who'd get into tonight's game.
And he did.
He did.
He did an exceptional job. And again, you take the yards are there. He broke through the initial phase, but then he broke tackles after that. These are the kind of backbreakers that you can't have as a defense.
Sterling Hoffrick to the punter. On to hold. The PAT by Cole Murphy. Another quick strike by this orange offense. The freshman from North Carolina, 49 yards to the house, and Syracuse has taken a double-digit lead with 12:29 remaining here in the second quarter.
How's it going, Orange Nation? I'm Zach Maloney, and it's time to get to know me. The last thing I bought was a burrito. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving because I love to eat. It's got football involved, and I love being around my family. I would definitely sing Sorry by Justin Bieber. Now, is it too late now to say sorry? Cause right now I'm missing more than just your body.
Get to know the Orange is presented by Aspen Dental. One night in town, my team around, throwing money, buying, watching hit the ground. Bring it back up, bring it back up.
Syracuse by 10 over Colgate in this matchup of Central New York schools opening night of the college football season. A 49-yard touchdown run by Mo Neal, a true freshman. First time he touches the football, he goes to the house.
Yeah, they're not all going to be like that, Mo, but what a great job he did on his first touch. But these are really the kind of plays when you're an FCF program trying to come up and play the big ACC program. You clearly can't have one-play drives. You can't have turnovers, can't have penalties, and you got to make them go the long, hard way.
Abu Darami runs it out of his own end zone. Bad decision. The Syracuse coverage was there.
Yeah, really poor decision, Doug. Nice kick. The kick is angled away from where he wanted to take the return, which forces him to bring it back to the middle of the field. Got Dino Babers on your screen there. Eastern Illinois, we know the tenure he had at Bowling Green. Actually was a coach of Jimmy Garoppolo, who's now filling in for those New England Patriots at quarterback. But Dino Babers has really sort of got the world as his oyster now with the offense as a play caller. When you get those one-play drives, the defense has got to go back there and say, well, what now? What do we prepare for? It's not just pace, it's some of these shot plays as well.
And Matt, he says this is, of his last 3 stops, his biggest overhaul in terms of changing what was done stylistically and schematically. And why is that so challenging? I mean, it's not just football.
Well, because there's a fork in the road, I think, for any coach who come into a new place. They have to make that decision. Am I trying to sort of meld whatever it is I have here and use sort of a version of what I do, or do I really institute what I do? And what Dino Babers does is a lot different than a lot of programs. When he comes in, there's going to be change. So there's going to be some bumps, there'll be some bruises on the way, but learning this system was really their #1 prerogative, and making sure that it was implemented first and foremost.
Colgate picks up 9 on first down, 2nd down and 1. Melville hands to Holland. Gets away from the initial contact and spins his way for a first down. Kendall Coleman, one of those other true freshmen, getting a lot of playing time. He's actually the only starter among the true freshmen on the 2 deep, and they're very high on this young man from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Great opportunity for him to go against an offense that's not a Dino Babers offense. You go play against that offense at every practice, looking across the line, say, hey, these guys huddle. These guys don't play so fast.
First down and 10 from the Colgate 27-yard line. Handoff to Holland, big hole. There's the freshman Coleman making the tackle, but a nice job by Holland to keep his feet moving, and the junior's got himself a first down.
Great job here by Holland, as you mentioned, Doug, and really getting downhill quickly. That's really his strength. We saw a lot of it in those FCF playoffs a year ago, his ability to get downhill in a hurry and really explode through that hole. He's a load. He's not a huge guy, but he runs with great leverage, great pad level, gets down, explodes through the hole. You have to credit Jake Melville there for the decision. It's a great job of putting that in his gut. To pull it would have been the wrong move.
Yeah, Holland had 7 touchdowns in the playoffs last year alone, including 4 at New Hampshire. Melville tucks, keeps himself down at the 43-yard line. Zaire Franklin, the middle linebacker and defensive captain for this team, with the tackle.
We know that about Zaire Franklin. He's really the perfect complement if you want to run at Tampa 2. He's that right-sized middle linebacker, a guy that's rangy, has great instincts, and your job as a middle linebacker in Tampa 2 is to get to the deep hole. It's almost like using the middle linebacker as a middle thirds player. So he has to be a guy that has great sideline-to-sideline ability and great job of opening up his hip and getting deep as well.
Into the football game, number 44 for Colgate is a true freshman named Alex Matthews. Time to throw. Up top goes Melville, and he overthrows his intended receiver, Owen Rocket. Now Colgate's coming off a 9-5 year where they started 0-3 and made it all the way to the national quarterfinals.
Coach Hunt has done a great job of trying to bury last season and really take the things that they learned from it and try to institute it here. They started slowly. They had a lot of close games to build that record. As they sort of got through into the Patriot League, they became the team that they were that made the playoff run. So not letting them sort of wear the championship gear around the locker room, trying to make 2016 the new thing from the lessons a year ago.
Yeah, they've all been wearing T-shirts that say one play on them this year. No championship stuff, and there's a first down by this veteran offense. James Holland once again, who now has 8 carries for over 40 yards. Move the chains again, and at midfield, the Raiders are on the move.
Yeah, 3rd and uncomfortable. You're thinking drop back pass, and they just go direct run. They look like the Syracuse defense is spread out a bit to pass rush. Get upfield and go get that sack, but there's a great job there of taking an opportunity of wide interior gaps, the A gaps they call them, on each side of center. They give it to you, go ahead and take it.
Just over 9 minutes remaining in the half. Melville going to have to go down at midfield for no gain. The Syracuse defense was ready.
That's really one of those plays where you notice the difference between FCS and up here at the FBS level, where the defensive ends have that ability to run down the quarterback. That was a good decision by Jake to pull it out. It would have been stuffed at the line with Holland, but he gets to that corner, and they're able to disengage on the edge and still run with the quarterback. That's the difference he'll have to adjust to as the game goes on. That play may not be available. Have to look downfield.
It's 2nd down and 10 for Colgate. Read option, he hands it off. It's the freshman, and number 44 is gobbled up for a loss of 3. Zaire Franklin with another tackle for the Cuse.
Great show there of team speed for the Orangemen. Franklin, really a sideline-to-sideline player. Get those front four upfield, sort of disrupting things and allowing that linebacker just to flow. Sideline-to-sideline plays are not going to be a good calling card here for the Colgate offense. Guys on the other side of the ball have a little more athleticism, a little more length, a little more speed. You need to get the quick hitters. You need to get downhill in a hurry. Sideways plays are generally not going to be effective.
3rd down and 11. Melville fires, and it's complete for a first down to Mataluna.
That's really much the same lesson. It's completed inside the hashes. It's a straight, more direct play. Direct runs, plays right over the ball. You see the length there at the linebacker level. Very nearly tipped here is Jake Melville's pass, but he really puts it on him. It's a great job, but the action is in front of him. The action is between the hash and numbers. That's where most of the success this Colgate team has found.
Melville, again, another quick strike. That ball deflected away. Good coverage by Ted Taylor, senior linebacker. Metaluna just couldn't haul it in.
Reed wasn't terrible. The ball trailed a little bit on Mataluna. You wonder if he's putting it on the back hip because you see that looming linebacker who's coming in to take your head off, potentially safety in that spot. But, you know, it's kind of a, maybe that's one to go a little deeper in your progression and not set up your receiver.
That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. The Raiders trail the Orange by 10. Melville jukes one defender, gets around another, but can't beat the third. Coming like a bullet is Antoine Cordy.
Yeah, a little too much dancing there. Cordy does a great job of filling. He's just like a bullet as he comes off that edge. I think that's a decision, again, that Jake Melville probably gets away with that play in the Patriot League at the FCS level. Gets the miss, but the ability to recover. Makes one guy miss, makes two guys miss, but the wave is coming. Some of these exterior plays that he's used to having in other games may not be for him today. Offensive coordinator has to go and make that adjustment. Say, hey, let's take what they give us.
Cordy had 12 tackles for loss a year ago, his first here as a junior. 3rd and 11. Melville fires in and out of the hands of Alex Grinowald. And the Syracuse defense holds again.
Well, those are the kind of plays you have to have, and you got to credit Jake Melville for really putting them on them. They're in a tough spot. Delivers the ball between the corner and safety. Those are the kind of catches you have to make. You're on the big stage. You're trying to get the upset. Quarterback puts it on you in conversion situation. Got to make that play.
So the punt unit for Colgate on the field. Josh Serra standing near midfield. Grizzly Esteem awaits the punt. Calls for a fair catch, and he's got it at the 12-yard line. The Orange has scored the last 17 points, looking to tack onto that 10-point lead when we come back. Back in Syracuse, where season ticket sales are up by a bigger number than they have been since 1992 for this program. So Dino Babers has quickly engaged this fan base.
Wins and losses aside, we don't know that. The season has to play out. But this is an exciting brand of football. This is fun for fans to sit and watch.
Fun for the quarterback. Dungy hands off on first down. That's Mo Neal with his second carry. So his career collegiate rushing average goes from 49 a pop down to what's that, 24?
Exactly. But all you have to tell your friends is your average. You don't have to get into details, Doug.
Actually gained 3 on the carry. Pass completed. Adetawo, the Maryland transfer, playing his 4th year of eligibility. He got his degree last spring from Maryland, and he brings some speed to this unit.
Yeah, and give Adetawo credit here because he was known to be sort of this deep play threat, but he's made a couple nice grabs here in sort of the more ball control situation. Quick passes, more of a rhythm kind of interior thing, and he had the shot play as well. That's what we didn't know if they were going to get from him. Could you get that compliment to your top guy, Steve Ishmael? You have someone else who can be a catch gobbler, and thus far, Adetawo has been one.
Yeah, we have seen Brisley Esteem. We've seen Irv Phillips certainly involved here in the first half. Adetawo, Dungy's found them all. Dungy is 13 for 14 passing for 138 yards.
This is Tecmo Bowl. You almost look at the quarterback stats and you have a hard time making sense of it because it's just so efficient. It's just such a different, it's almost a different sport. You sit back, you pluck away. The big thing you'll look for is beyond just completions percentage. They're almost always high in these kinds of offenses. You just don't want to get turnovers. I mean, that's really the way you can earn it. Keep making the correct decisions. But thus far, Dungy has done an excellent job.
They're down in inches for Syracuse. Adetawo comes right with a full house backfield. First time we've seen this in short yardage. Dungy gives it off. It's a first down for the Orange. Strickland able to get out near the 30-yard line, dropped at the 28 and moved the chains again. Keeping it on the ground, Syracuse. Dante Strickland, sophomore from Dayton, New Jersey again.
Now, Babers' offense is generally known for the spread. We're seeing what, I don't even know what to call it, almost like an inverted wing T kind of thing, but it's a much more run-based look. A big change-up for the Colgate defense.
Play action, setting it up for the deep threat. Adetawo's out there, and he's got it. Down at the 30-yard line.
And that's a little bit predictable, Doug. You lull him to sleep. A couple nice run plays from a heavy run look. And Adetawo's downfield shot play. Got to play on top of that guy. But again, he earned it by catching a couple of those short look passes prior to the go route.
Now inside the 30.
The official saying, whoa, slow down.
Yeah, the chain gang has to be in better shape. Everybody on the Syracuse offense and defense is in better shape as well. Dante Strickland again.
And that is, I mean, that is one factor here. Obviously, the officiating crew wants to be able to get themselves in position. You can want your offense to go fast, but you have to stay legal.
Adetawo already has 6 catches for 108 yards, including a couple of deep balls, 43 and 37 yards. That's Mo Neal on the carry once again. Tackle made by Kyle Diener. Let's get a look at the young man who his given name is Darius Quantarius Neal Jr. We just call him Mo.
Mo. It's good for broadcast people. It's helpful.
Only 2 syllables in Mo Neal. His decision came down to Syracuse and Wake Forest, and Dino Babers was happy that he decided to stick with his commitment to come here to SU. Looking for Phillips, the slot receiver. Coming back to the football, Ishmael. And he's inside the 25-yard line. Well, comparatively, Steve Ishmael is not the burner of the group. He works very well in his technique. He's got terrific hands. And he is somebody who a quarterback loves to know he can put the ball out there and he's going to make the catch. Now Neal comes to the sideline. And the slot lefter Phillips. 5 receivers for the Syracuse offense and a timeout called by the Orange. We'll take a break from the Carrier Dome with under 3 minutes remaining in the half. The Orange lead the Raiders by 10.
It's on you, it's on me, it's on us, it's on all of us to stop sexual assault in schools. Please join me in taking the pledge that it's on us.org.
We can stop sexual assault together.
Matt Chatham, what's a good quarterback rating?
Well, I don't know the baseline. That always confuses me, but I'm guessing, let me just throw it out there, that Eric Dungy's is a whole lot.
206.4.
That sounds like a whole lot.
I'd say that's double good. He is
Double
he is 16 of 17 for 188 yards and a touchdown. And he has set up his field goal kicker Cole Murphy for another attempt. And it is good. 2 for 2 now on field goals, and the lead is 13. 20 unanswered points for the Orange.
As a small drop of solace, you do get a red zone stop as a defense. I mean, this game is starting to turn Syracuse's way, but you're sort of looking for the small things to grasp. Again, we're back to that same point. You're coming up here, you're butting up on halftime. Colgate really needs to get something out of this drive to prevent it from getting out of hand. We know the Colgate offense can operate in the 2-minute offense. They have a 30-second offense. So if you give them the ball back with a quick turn here, it could be lights out.
Durami out across the 20. Tackled by Kylan Whitner. Well, it's been a long time since Colgate beat Syracuse. It happened in 1950 here on this site. This is where Archbold Stadium used to stand before they tore it down and built the Carrier Dome. 38,000 people were here to see the Central New York rivalry. 1914 was that final score, and this is a rivalry that goes back to 1891, and they played pretty much every year, but not so much in the last 55 years. This is only the 5th meeting in the last half century. But there was proof that it can be done 66 years later. And again, Colgate is located in Hamilton, New York, which is about 40 miles to the south and east of where we sit here in Syracuse. So these Colgate players, they are in the Syracuse television market. They watch the local news. They've seen all the stuff about Dino Babers, and they know what they were getting into. Trying to get something on the board here in the final 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Jake Melville able to gain 2 yards. Zaire Franklin, the second-year junior captain for Syracuse, with the tackle. There's some of the Colgate fans who made the short trip. About an hour's drive from campus to campus. And again, those folks had a lot to cheer about last year. Undefeated in the Patriot League. Dan Hunt is the man who has led this program. Well, actually, he was an assistant coach for 19 years at Colgate under the legendary Dick Biddle before taking over the program and getting it right back to national relevance.
And it seems that Dan Hunt has sort of taken the clock consumption approach here. They're letting that clock run.
Nearly intercepted. In and out of the hands of Davon Ellison. Sophomore from Linden, New Jersey, couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, but as we mentioned, a minute 26 left on the clock here now. Going for it again over the middle where they found some production. Jake is trying to throw away from that zone, but we know that this Tampa 2 is sort of the new thing being integrated here by Babers with this defense, but he's trying to sort of lead his receiver away from where those zone players are, just a little too far out of his grasp on that.
Colgate punter is Josh Serra at his own 11. Grizzly esteems one of the big game breakers. Had a couple of punts returned for touchdown last year. Fair catch at the 36-yard line. Well, Colgate football has produced 61 alumni that have gone on to play in the NFL. So it's a storied program, and you recognize some of the names there. Dan Fortman is actually in both the College Football Hall of Fame and the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yes. Eugene Robinson with a Super Bowl ring there on the list as well. Mark Murphy. Storied.
Yeah, Murphy now the president and CEO of the Green Bay Packers after a terrific playing career as a defensive back with the Redskins. These two programs back in the 1970s had big decisions to make. You're going to try and stay at the highest level of football, or you're going to drop down. Colgate dropped down. Syracuse decided to take down Archbold Stadium and build the Carrier Dome and make a real commitment, and that's how these two programs over the last 35, 40 years have gone in different directions.
Pressured on the play by Kyle Gainer.
We've got a clock stoppage now here. 2nd and 10. Officials are coming out to make a rule.
There's no foul for intentional receiver, ineligible receiver downfield. The quarterback was throwing the ball away and it passed the line of scrimmage. 2nd down.
Second down and 10 from the 36.
So 2nd and 10 from the 36 with a minute 13 on the clock. 3 receivers go to the left. Eric Dungy, plenty of time, now has to run left. In pursuit, Brett Field, and he chases him out of bounds. The 6'5 senior from Durhamville, New York, getting good pressure on the quarterback.
And we know Eric Dungy has that little bit of ability in his legs, too. Hasn't needed it much tonight, but you see the ability to sort of escape pressure there himself. But when you've got a 300,000 QBR or whatever you said, Doug, sometimes their feet are a little less important.
3rd and 8. Irv Phillips makes the catch, but is dropped almost immediately. Short game. And with under a minute to go, will Syracuse in this position go for it on 4th down?
That's an oddball decision if they do, because you give it back in plus territory and you go to score.
Well, they've still got 25 seconds on the play clock, and now they bring out the punt team.
Sure. Quarterback did dig a book over longingly as if they were going to maybe give it a go. No, that would not have been the right football decision, regardless of at what pace your offense plays.
So Sterling Hoffrichter, redshirt freshman from Valrico, Florida, on for his first collegiate punt. Abu Darami, as we have a delay of game. 5-yard penalty shouldn't make much of a difference for the Orange. Just using as much time on the clock as possible. 17.2 remaining here in the first half. Syracuse has had scoring drives of 1:45 that led to a touchdown, 5:43 to a field goal, the 11-second drive that was the 49-yard touchdown run by Mo Neal, and then the 3:23 drive most recently for a field goal, now being forced to punt for the first time. Fair catch late, and Colgate will take over at its own 22-yard line. Well, he's got big shoes to fill as Sterling Hoffrichter. He replaces Riley Dixon, who was a tremendous punter the last 4 years for Syracuse. He was the only guy drafted off of last year's team, taken by the Denver Broncos.
And a nice ball here in replacement. He comes out and gives him just enough hang time on that ball to allow his gunners to get down the field and force a fair catch.
So if you're Colgate, they are certainly giving the appearance of just taking a knee and heading to the locker room and catching their breath. That is indeed what they do. Colgate scored first, but Syracuse rattled off the next 20.
Syracuse 20, Colgate 7.
Well, it is game number 1 for Dino Babers as head coach at Syracuse. In the previous 4 years at 2 different stops when leading at halftime, his teams are a combined 31-3. Odds are in their favor as we hit the intermission. The Babers era begins with a bang. The offense has been efficient and rapid. Syracuse offense has come as advertised. What are your impressions so far, Matt?
Well, we know about Dino Babers, and we know that there was an expectation of his scheme and his offense, but it still takes players. So I put a lot of this on Eric Dungey. He was able to transition from an entirely different offense and be incredibly proficient. It takes players to run an offense, and he came out here and did a great job. The biggest thing being no mistakes. Make a mistake in a game like this, give a free possession to a team like Colgate, you give them life. That didn't happen.
Colgate scored the first touchdown of the ball game, and they have been shut out ever since. The Raiders came out, went down the field. Owen Rocket, the 19-yard pass from Jake Melville.
Yeah, Jake Melville, as you see, scrambling to his left, throwing across his body. Great play to Rocket, a lot of life early.
But there is Eric Dungey, who seems to thrive so far in this new system. And what quarterback wouldn't? He has been so efficient. A touchdown followed by a field goal, and the Orange offense had put them on top.
Yeah, we've seen so many people get touches here. Here, Mo Neal with a big long run, 49-yard play, a one-play drive. Those are always killers for a defense. But the even more impressive thing is that Dungey has really spread the ball throughout this Syracuse offense. So many people getting touches. It just hasn't been Ishmael, as we suspected coming into the game. He's found multiple places to go with the ball.
And that long pass had to set up another field goal. Cole Murphy went from 32 yards, this one from 41, and that adds up to 20 points for Syracuse. So if you're Colgate head coach Dan Hunt in that locker room, your message other than to your guys, catch your breath, what do you say?
Well, it was frenetic, but it is still just 20 points. I mean, we're not talking about one of these college football games that's, we're looking like 70. There were some good things. There were some positives. And fortunately, if you believe in sort of that game planning idea in football, you can go back and sort of reset things and say, hey, there were issues, but we can do X, Y, and Z, and that can take away some things. Unfortunately, Dino Babers comes out with the offense, and they were all right down there quickly again, and whatever halftime adjustments you made weren't the correct ones. So that's the challenge. These early drives in the second half will tell us a lot of which way this thing is going to go.
Okay, let's take a look at our first half statistics. Very efficient for the Orange. 81 rushing yards, 192 passing. 3 of 15 on penalties. The one first penalty for Syracuse actually really hurt them because that kept Colgate on the field with its offense to go down and score a touchdown.
Yeah, great point, Doug. And it's some of the sloppiness you kind of expect in first games. You know, both teams are really, they had a long off season. They come out, they have a couple bumps, and that really is what precipitated the Colgate drive. That was their one score. So they go clean that up. They play a little more clean football from that point on, and we've seen the difficulty for Jake Melville to get to the edge of the defense. He does it so effectively at the FCS level. Some of those edge plays just haven't been there for him.
Down 13, Colgate trying to upset Syracuse. Can they keep with the orange in the second half? Third quarter, right after this. Has been as advertised. He was an assistant coach at Baylor as part of nearly 3 decades as an assistant. Finally has gotten his opportunity to implement his systems, and this is what he wants to do. Third quarter underway. It's Brisley Esteem for Syracuse from his own 4. Tripped up at the 20-yard line. Nice job on coverage by Abu Darami, the freshman from Columbus, Ohio, and so the Syracuse offense comes out. Dungy's first half stats are rather gaudy. 17 first half completions, only 2 incompletions, and nearly 200 yards. His high last year as a freshman was 232 for an entire game.
He's thankful Dino Babers is his new coach, and I think in part of this, we know he had the concussion issues at one point last year. He hasn't been put in harm's way much. These are quick passing game, get out of his hand, as you see right here on first down.
Steve Ishmael, the junior from Miami, hauls in the pass for Ishmael, his 3rd reception.
Also in on the play, number 1, Joe Figueroa. Second down and 2 from the 29.
Again, short passing to Irv Phillips, and he was
Phillips on the reception.
the most constant target in that first half. That's his 9th catch of the game. Nearly 70 yards and a flag on the field.
Ball marked at the 32-yard line. Syracuse first and 10.
After the play, personal foul, number 8, offense. The penalty is half the distance. It'll be first and 10.
That's on Ishmael.
Not a smart play there by Ishmael. An unusual situation here for Syracuse. At least recently, they haven't had a Cuse wide receiver drafted since 2010 with Mike Williams, and Ishmael really looks like that guy. Not a smart play there, obviously, but he's sort of closer to the complete package. Not just the go route guy, not just the efficient low route dude either. He can kind of do a little bit of everything. He looks like a pro's pro at this level.
Following the penalty mark off, the ball placed at the 17-yard line. Gives Syracuse a first and 10 from the 17.
Keep the ball on the ground. On first down, Mo Neal, the freshman.
Gain to the 20-yard line. 3-yard pickup, second down and 7.
Dungy tripped up, and that's going to be a loss. Good job by the Colgate defense. Trent Williams credited with the tackle.
Really a nice group effort there. Once Dungy had made sort of the decision to pull it up in the pocket, got to have that sort of secondary front to the pocket. They did. A lot of hats get to the ball.
On 3rd down and 9, Syracuse gets a new play from the sideline. Dungy completes the pass left side. Can Phillips get to the marker?
Tackle made by number 26, Courtney Mims.
It looks like they're marking him about a yard short. That brings up 4th down. Interesting decision there by Dungy to go with the quick pass, because that made it all run after the catch to eat up the 8 yards that they needed.
At the 26-yard line.
Syracuse gives the appearance of going for it on 4th and 1.
Okay.
Play clock down to 2. They are going to go for it. Dungy's pass complete, and they get the first down. Amba Editawo. Courtney Mims on the coverage.
Well, there's no such thing as disrespect in football, but as a defensive player, you kind of take it that way. I mean, they're deep in their own territory. They're just running their own plays, but they were willing to risk.
Dungy taken down for a loss by Kyle Diener, the inside linebacker for Colgate. Well, Amba Editawo has 7 catches for 122 yards, both career highs. And you know, his best performances while he was a Maryland Terrapin came against Syracuse in this building. And against Bowling Green last year against Dino Babers. Dungy threw a bit of a duck, and now we've got a penalty marker coming in against Tyler Castillo, sophomore defensive back from Orlando.
Pass interference, number 10, defense. Automatic first down.
First down, Syracuse.
That one did have a sense of maybe the crowd did a nice job there. You know, tip of the cap. It looked like he got talked into that one. There was a roar, a stop and think about it, and sure, I'll throw one out. So, interesting call there. It looked like the two guys were just battling pretty fairly. Flag comes out.
Syracuse first and 10 on the Colgate 46-yard line.
Going up top again. And Editawo just keeps adding to his incredible total.
Yeah, Editawo really just turned the defensive back around there. A bit of a double move. He, I believe, fakes here to the post. We'll get a shot here. Don't see it there on your replay, but made a move to the inside, got the defensive back to bite, heads back out to the flag, flattens the route, goes and gets the pass. Really nice game for that young man. The doubts about him was how deep and diverse was his game. Is he just a go route guy? Not at all. He's shown so many different things today. Really a positive sign for this Syracuse Orangemen offense.
So he's got a career high in receiving yardage. Dungy now with a career high in passing yardage, with still plenty of time to go here in the third quarter. Dante Strickland for a short game.
Alex Campbell on the tackle.
And that's the one element that you know is going to be strong down the road. Yes, it's quick passing, but the work that you'll see from Strickland and Fredericks, that'll come, I think, more into play as they head into the ACC. Really, the running game has been secondary, though, in this approach today.
Dungy, quick strike, right side, completed to Ishmael. But the Colgate defense drops him almost immediately. Terrific coverage by Victor Steffen and John Steffen, the brother combination there.
Gained in the 10-yard line. Third down and 2.
Older brother Victor, a senior. Younger brother John, a sophomore from Hawley, Pennsylvania, out of Wallen-Paupack Area High School. Dungy hands off. Nowhere to go once again for Strickland.
Strickland on the carry.
Pretty close to a first down, but he's going to be short.
Tackled by number 55.
There's a look at Victor Steffen, who actually blew out his knee in week 2 last year against Yale, and he's now back to 100%. But with him, Field, Campbell, and Afriyie, they've got 4 terrific defensive linemen.
And it seems to be a tip of the cap from Syracuse, knowing that that's really the strength of this Colgate defense. They've really done most of their work on the perimeter, get it to the outside, feeling that the ability gaps are more on the exterior of the offense. There hasn't been a lot of direct stuff. They're great at the defensive line. They're really solid at the linebacker position. The front 7 is not what they want to test. They've been going after the corners and safeties.
After the 10-yard penalty, third down and 11. And now timeout is called by Syracuse. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will be joined by one of the great quarterbacks in the history of Syracuse football, Marvin Graves.
Let's take a look at the video boards for tonight's birthdays.
Yeah, that's good. Shoot me up.
At halftime, a marvelous ceremony here inside the Carrier Dome honoring one of the greats in Orange football history. That's Marvin Graves. And yes, there was a number 5 quarterback in Syracuse history before Donovan McNabb. Graves graduated as the all-time leading passer in school history. Welcome and congratulations, and welcome back to your alma mater.
Thank you. It's great to be back. I've had a blast. And it's just getting started.
So your old coach, Dick McPherson, is down in the press box. I heard you had a chance to see him for the first time in 15 years.
Yes, I've talked to him on the phone, but to actually see him, it's been actually a little more than 15. But Dick McPherson is still Dick McPherson. I love that guy. He came and got me out of D.C. and brought me here and helped me become a man.
Well, your alma mater going to go for a field goal. What are your impressions of watching this up-tempo offense so far?
It's exciting. It's different from what we're used to seeing at Syracuse. I've actually coached in a system like this, so it's pretty exciting to actually coach as well. I just think if we could keep it simple, I think we have the right quarterback for the system. I think it could work for us.
How would you have liked to have been a quarterback in this system?
Right.
Come on, man. Come on. Chris Gedney, Quadre Ishmael, Rob Moore, Marvin Harrison. It just wouldn't have been fair. I would have loved to have the opportunity to play in the passing offense.
Well, with the system that you guys ran, you were very successful. Chris Gedney, you mentioned, is right next to us, went to the NFL. You had a lot of NFL receivers you were throwing to.
Yeah, I mean, and I was telling someone earlier today that coming to Syracuse, when you come out of high school, you're coming out of high school sitting on the potential word. And coming here, playing with the guys, Chris Gedney, Quadre Ishmael, Marvin Harrison, they bring out the best in you. So you're not just sitting on potential, you kind of reach it and sometimes exceed it. So, I think we all had something to do with all of us having success here at Syracuse.
Kickoff from Syracuse, leading 23-7 with 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Colgate scored first here tonight, hasn't scored since. And so you led Syracuse to 3 bowl games. You were the MVP in all 3 bowl wins, including the Fiesta Bowl. What are your memories of the Fiesta Bowl as we take a look here?
Well, I remember the field being horrible.
I see that.
And then I remember this. And people think I'm fast, but I'm just running for my life, and I ended up in the end zone. So I put my hands on my hips because I couldn't believe it. But it was a great time. We had a great time out in Scottsdale, Arizona. The bowl games are great. You get to go down, spend a week, be with your teammates, play that extra game, but that game was great.
Talk a little bit about the spirit here. It just seems to be a little more of a buzz and a vibe in the building that's been here for a while. I know it's an exciting brand of football. Dino Babers has brought this quick, frenetic pace. Where do you see this program going? It just seems like Syracuse football is back on the right track.
I agree with you. I think change is good sometimes, and I think that I coached in this offense, and if you buy into the system and you execute limited turnovers, you can put up some points and you can wear defenses down. I've seen it happen with less talent playing against teams that are supposed to beat us by 24 points, 25 points. So I think we have the right quarterback for the system. I think we have the right talent for the system. And I think this coaching staff is definitely going to have the program back in the right direction.
3rd down and 9 for Colgate at its own 26-yard line. Melville's pass incomplete, and the Syracuse defense holds. So among the Syracuse alumni and fraternity, what's the feel about where the program is now and with the coaching change?
I feel like we're right there. I feel like I try not to judge the program from when we played. I feel like these guys are who they are, and there's a lot of parity in football right now. A lot of kids being recruited to different schools, so you're not getting a lot of kids from Florida. When we were here, we got a lot of kids from the Florida area that helped us tremendously with the speed. I feel like the program is definitely heading the right direction. The facilities, I was over at the athletic facility. That's beautiful. The uniforms are great. So
that counts too.
Yeah.
It's recruiting these days.
Yeah. So I really believe we're heading in the right direction, and this brand of football will attract more great football players here.
You spent a number of years playing professional football north of the border. What was it like playing Canadian football?
It was actually fun, man. That field is huge, and I really didn't know what to expect, but going up there and playing ball, and really just having a better respect for the Canadian Football League, because I played against some guys that played in the NFL that came up there. Doug Flutie, happened to spend camp with him. So going up there, I didn't really look at it as a step down. I looked at it as a blessing to be able to play, about 6.5 years up there.
I played with Doug Flutie, and he speaks glowingly of the CFL. You mentioned the notion that it's a different brand. You shouldn't think of it as a notch below. The experiences he gained there helped him invaluably when he made the move up.
Absolutely.
They call that a catch. Amba Editawo, everything going his way. The former Maryland Terrapin is just eating up the Colgate defensive secondary.
Yeah, Editawo's really been sort of the MVP, I think, of this offense. Certainly Dungy has led the ship, but he's somebody who's shown us more than we knew what to expect. We came in here expecting certain things from Ishmael and some of the other fellows, but he's really been the surprise element, the guy that's stressed the guy across from him more than anyone. Ooh, as he inbounds, that's a close call there.
What do you think, Mark?
Looks like a catch to me.
It's like, did he clip his toenails or not? I mean, that is right there. That's tough.
So are you back in D.C. these days?
I'm back in D.C. Family. I literally been in D.C. since the end of 2001 when I got hurt in the CFL. I just decided to hang it up. Had neck surgery, got cleared to play, and I just decided it was time. So I've been in D.C. since then.
How you sleeping? Guys have neck surgery.
I'm sleeping. Yeah, I'm sleeping good, man.
There you go.
I'm sleeping good. Life is good. My family is here with me. Again, being back here, man, this is family right here. This is my second home, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this weekend.
Well, we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. I know our audience enjoys seeing you and catching up with what Marvin Graves has been up to.
I thank you guys for having me, and of course the fans. Cliche is, but we have some great fans. They're not fans. This is community. So I appreciate them as well.
Marvin Graves, number 5. Thank you very much. Being honored here tonight on opening night at the Carrier Dome, and his alma mater just keeps going back to work. Steve Ishmael with another reception. Syracuse knocking on the door, and the pace does not differ. Toss it back to the running back, Jordan Fredericks. He's inside the 15-yard line. Matt, Marvin talked about some of the receivers he had here at that time. Rob Moore went on to a great NFL career. Chris Gedney played a few years as a tight end in the NFL. On and on and on. The talent that Syracuse had back in that era, late 80s, early 90s, as good as this program's ever had.
Yeah, and he mentioned it. You take the talent level he was accustomed to, put it in this kind of system, stretch this dream one layer further and put it in a Canadian system where you have the system and the field and the rules to accompany it. It's just some exciting ideas. I mean, really a cool part of Syracuse history.
Patafrie is the injured Raider. He's a junior from Sandy Hook, Connecticut. First team All-Patriot League, and he's on pace to become the all-time sack leader in program history.
Yeah, Patafrie is a unique guy. He's not a huge dude, but he plays with great strength and leverage on the edge. Speed to power is really what he does. It feasts upon tackles there in the Patriot League. A defensive end that can really get a lot done. Very disruptive. Great to see him jogging off here with a little bit of a limp in his gait, but nothing that looks too terribly serious. He is extremely important, as important as anyone on that defensive side of the ball to their hopes in the Patriot League.
Yeah, the preseason Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year, second team All-American preseason as well at the FCS level. Syracuse football, 3rd down and 2 at the Colgate 15-yard line. Quick strike left side. First tackle broken, but then a knee went down to the turf by Irvin Phillips, and so he's going to come up shy of a first down.
Knee was down, lost his shoe. Really, we're getting in this situation where the Colgate defenders on the back end are getting opportunities, but a lot of these Syracuse ball carriers are slipping that first guy in. So it really takes gang tackling, to get this thing too far out of reach.
And so the field goal unit comes out again. Cole Murphy is perfect so far tonight. 33-yard attempt. Hoffrichter there to hold. Gets it down. And the field goal is good. Another scoring drive for the Orange. It's 26-7 Syracuse on opening night of the Dino Babers era.
Please direct your attention to the West End Zone for a performance by Syracuse University Lady Orange Dancers.
With Matt Chatham, I'm Doug Sherman. Syracuse with a 5-play, 47-yard drive. Took only a minute 40, and it ends in a 33-yard field goal for a 26-7 lead.
A little more deliberate there. It wasn't this sort of mind-blowing, quick down the field thing, but they continue to put points on the board. It's not the
of first down yardage. Short of it, Trent Williams made the stop.
All across the 35-yard line.
They continue to tempt fate here and go for it on 4th down again, deep in their own territory. Looks as if that decision will not be made. Punt team comes on.
Do you think that was just a ruse, or do you think they were really thinking about it?
They looked like they were, punching it in the abacus and trying to figure out if it made sense. But I just, at some point, and you get in a game like this, you want to try some things, get into some situational things, but you still have to win the football game. Sometimes that could be extremely unwise if you get goaded into doing something like that.
So the Colgate defense gets the football right back.
Tremendous punt there. Excellent hang time. Back to returner up inside his own 20.
Now Sterling Hoffrichter is the redshirt freshman who has taken over for Riley Dixon here at Syracuse, and so far so good. So Colgate back with the offense onto the field at its own 18-yard line, down 26-7.
Well, the game of football, college football, professional football, really at any level, is in-game adjustments. And Colgate had a lot of success in that first quarter on that first drive, but since that time, not so much offense. So the adjustments that Syracuse made once they'd seen that first punch have been really one of the undersold stories of this game. Colgate, on the other hand, has had a difficult time figuring out how they're going to counter with the adjustments that Syracuse has made.
Quarterback Jake Melville takes the snap from his own 10, and that ball's deflected and complete in and out of the hands of Marquise Hodge. The catch was made by John Mataluna.
Well, here we go. They need to start a drive. They need to kick things off, and it's one of the few mistakes I think we've really seen Jake Melville make today, and that mistake inevitably ends up in a completion. So you'll take it. But Jake has really done a nice job today, even though they've had difficulty moving the football, of making the real dangerous pass. That was an extremely dangerous pass. It was fortunate not to go the other direction.
Legal substitution offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
You heard the call, a legal substitution. 5-yard penalty against Colgate. So push him back. First down and 15. And Melville is swallowed up. Chris Slayton and Jake Picard combining for that sack. Slayton playing defensive end this year after being an interior lineman, and lots of new faces and new places on that Syracuse defensive front. Stephen Clark.
Back ability once you get the ball in his hands.
At Atawo with another reception.
To the 30-yard line.
Gain of 3.
How about Atawo on the reception? Second down and 7.
The last Syracuse quarterback to pass for 300 yards or more in a game was A.J. Long against North Carolina State in 2014. Until tonight, pass complete to Neal. Tyler Castillo took his legs down.
Nice ball there by Dungy from the far hash to an out route here on the far side of the field, outside the numbers. They had sort of the formation compacted to the Colgate sideline. So there's all this real estate out here to the Syracuse sideline. So it took a very difficult throw across 2/3 of the field by Dungy, but he put it right on the spot.
And he stayed in bounds. Clock continues to wind down. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Fredericks takes the first hit and then goes down to the 25 as the clock strikes 0. Well, the Syracuse defense really the story here in the third quarter, pitching another shutout. It's 26-7 as we head to the fourth on opening night in the Cuse.
The score after 3 quarters of play. Syracuse 26, Colgate 7. Orange Nation, it's time to get to the
26-7, Syracuse leads as we head to the fourth quarter. And in his 4-year career as a head football coach at the college level, Dino Babers has never lost a game where his team has had the lead heading into the fourth. His team on top here and looking for a first down on fourth. Phillips able to get that first down.
It's an opportunity clearly for Syracuse to work on some things that may come of use later on in their season as the ACC road gets much more difficult. That was an unusual thing. They pile in with the formation. They sort of burst out and send 4 guys to the bottom and do a little mini screen situation. Interesting play, and all you're trying to do is fall forward to get a first down.
Here's Mo Neal. Pickup of 1. Tackle made by Charles Carney, senior from Worcester, Ohio. And he's one of many of these Colgate players honored by the Patriot League coming into the year, and that'll happen when you go undefeated last year, and they're the preseason pick to win the Patriot again this year. Carney, preseason 3rd team. Linebacking core, very, very good. The defensive line, as we talked about, also filled with all-stars. Dungy with a juke. Dragged down from behind at the 10-yard line, but it's another Syracuse first down.
And a great shot there, the foot speed by Dungy. Gets there to the second level, one little stick move. Linebacker made a little silly, which we always hate to be in that situation, but great job there sort of showing what else he can do whenever the offense allows it.
Syracuse was held to 2 field goals in the 3rd quarter. Its last touchdown was that Mo Neal 49-yard TD run. Neal here stacked up. See where they put his forward progress.
It's been one of the interesting developments of the day. We haven't seen a ton of Strickland or Fredericks carries. I mean, Mo Neal's starting to get a little work here. So the run game is going to be a bigger part of this offense, I presume, moving forward. So this is a great opportunity to work in some of these young players and see what they've got when the other opponents come calling.
Well, you know, for Dante Strickland, this is the first time he has played a traditional running back role since Pop Warner.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really hard to believe, but of course he was a hybrid last year in Coach Schaefer's system, and then in high school he was used in various roles.
Really made some gains with his body in the offseason. A lot of the coaching staff had mentioned sort of the impressive jumps he'd made. Get a little thicker, get a little stronger on the low end of your base, and really helps you as a running back.
He suffered a minor injury during training camp, held him back a little bit. Dungy still on his feet, flips it up into the end zone. Touchdown, Syracuse! Irvin Phillips.
Touchdown completion, Dungy Phillips.
I think the fatigue set in here a little bit. Dungy does an exceptional job of making it to the edge, but now it's just sort of creative time. What are you going to do? What do you got? Throws back across his body. That's a really ill-advised pass under most situations, but he gets away from it in that instant. Lesson there to the defense, do not fall asleep. Plays alive until they blow that whistle.
Cole Murphy has been perfect, kicking the football, 4 for 4 on field goals. And now perfect on PATs as well, 33-7, Syracuse.
We see Babers talking to him in his ear. We have no idea what he's saying, but oftentimes it's nice job.
Well, it worked out in the end this time. Another touchdown pass from the sophomore, Eric Dungy, in the orange up big.
able to take it in budgets many times because they always dreamed of us going to a big championship game.
Get to know the Orange, presented by Dental.
With 454 total yards, I've got to figure that conversation between head coach and quarterback is a good one.
It's not always what's on the stat sheet. Coaches are going to be coached. Done. Great job. Done a nice job today. But you know what? You throw a ball off your back foot, fading away after play stop, and the defenders are flat-footed, your receivers are flat-footed. The defender from Florida State, he might take that the other way. So coaches are always going to coach. Pat him on the back, did a nice job, but understand those could have negative consequences in a different situation.
Abu Durrami for Colgate. Out across the 25-yard line. And here's a look at the night for Eric Dungy. Over 300 yards total passing.
And the test has been the variety of throws he's had to complete, the different decisions he's had to make. His choice to take the ball down, protect himself, get some extra yards, really has shown a diverse set of skills. He's made great decisions with the ball. He's delivered the ball on time and on tempo and where it needs to be on several occasions. Nice night for the young man. Good first step to the 2016 season.
And the 4-yard touchdown pass a moment ago completed to Irvin Phillips to make the score 33-7.
Ball carried by James Holland.
James Holland stopped. Flag goes down.
Number 52, Caden Samuels on the tackle.
Caden Samuels
Flag on the play.
made the tackle.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 66, versus
That's the left guard, Max Hartzman, called for the personal foul. Matt, this has been a fairly cleanly played game. Not a lot of penalties, no turnovers so far.
Yeah, an unusual situation, really, for a first game. You almost half expect a little sloppy play, a turnover or two, more penalties than you see later in the year. But no, I mean, both teams have come out pretty prepared. I mean, a couple mistakes early, but they seem to have made the sideline adjustments and played clean football by and large from there on.
So it's first down and 24.
James Holland on the carry for the Raiders.
James Holland gets some of it back.
To the 19-yard line.
If you're Colgate here in the final 11 and a half minutes, what are you working on offensively, Matt?
That's a great question, because a lot of the things that you'll see them do and have success against comes against smaller fronts in this, quite frankly. In the Patriot League, you don't have 300-pound defensive end, right? So the things that you want to execute, that you want to attack the edges, well, the edges don't look like this. So anything you're replicating here is more just, I think, confidence inducing. You want to make sure your guys come away with a good feeling, get positive plays, don't get any of your guys hurt, just work on fundamental stuff.
Pass complete for very short gain, maybe 1 yard. Nick Martinson, sophomore tight end from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Had a couple of catches as a freshman, has a couple of catches so far here tonight as he begins his second year with Colgate. Josh Serra back out to punt once again, standing with his back toward the goal line. Now out about the 5-yard line.
Now the big important thing really from both sides is to understand this game in the context of what it is. Colgate's still got a bright future ahead of them in 2016 to plow through that Patriot League schedule. Punt there. Bounced back to the punter, but he got off a beautiful kick.
Steen, little hesitation to the 35, down at the 36. He had a nice job by Josh Serra just to field it and then get off a boomer.
Exceptional. With a bad ball handling, you just want to get the thing off. Then you kick your best ball.
Syracuse in complete control on opening night, 33-7 on top of Colgate. Syracuse 33, Colgate 7 on opening night inside the Carrier Dome. Crowd of over 31,000. With Matt Chatham, I'm Doug Sherman. And now, do you imagine that Syracuse at some point here with the football will start getting in some different personnel?
I'm not certain it's personnel, but I think it's an opportunity to work on different things.
Okay.
You don't have to ratchet up the pace and all that as much. With a quick pass. One of the things that I think is going to be a big part of their offense is there's still going to be a running game element. We haven't seen a ton of that. I could be dead wrong, and they go and throw it on you every down here, and hey, look, they're back with pace again. But that's something we haven't seen a ton of, and obviously there's an opportunity now to work on things. There's some space, obviously, on the scoreboard.
Well, if speed and pace is who you are, do you ever take your foot off the pedal if that's what you're trying to establish?
True enough.
I guess we'll find out. Neal stopped at the 45-yard line.
The only thing I will say about pace, and again, Dino Babers knows this much better than me, and it's his system that's obviously been very successful, but there are moments when you have to stop and calibrate.
Edatawo putting up some near record numbers on his first night as a Syracuse Orange. He's up around 200 yards receiving already. In case you're wondering, the all-time single game record.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist. Number 3 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Second out.
That's against Irvin Phillips. The all-time Syracuse record for receiving yards in a game. Scott Schwade's against Boston College back in '85. I was in the building for that game, and I have a feeling with Coach Babers' new system, a lot of these records that have stood for a long time might wind up going by the wayside.
Yeah, it's sort of a new era kind of thing. It's tough to, you call it like an apples and oranges kind of thing. They're going to fall. You don't typically see quarterbacks at 80 and 90% completion percentages. The receiving yards tend to go with it.
Dungy's pass behind the intended receiver, Neal. It falls incomplete with Courtney Mims on the coverage for Colgate.
What I meant earlier, though, about the notion of slowing to calibrate, all I mean there is that there are going to be stoppages of play where you have to sit, pick the precise play you want, maybe motion a little, but get into the play. Those are the kind of things that now where pace isn't as important. If you want to stop and measure, get the exact right thing, this is the opportunity. And you see them now. Take a little time, some communication from the sideline, get things lined up. Don't make mistakes. Don't put ugly things on film.
Dungy has the pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. Pass intended for Irvin Phillips. And so the Colgate defense stops Syracuse near midfield.
And you have to credit Colgate. They continue to fight. They really will have nothing to hang their head over when this is all said and done. Plenty ahead of them, but this defense is extremely talented on the inside portion. A lot of good players there. They're going to be able to stop most offenses they encounter, just not this particular one. This high-powered Dino Babers offense.
Hoffrichter, another good punt. Durami takes it from his 10. Quick first step, able to return it 10 yards out to the 20. Brought down by Shaheem Cullen. We'll step away from the Carrier Dome on opening night. It's all orange. Colgate with the football. First down and 10 at its own 20-yard line. And a big hit leveled by the Syracuse defense.
Quarterback, Sage Atwood, on the carry.
Now we talked about Jake Melville's ability to avoid hits like that. Atwood comes in and gets licked a little bit, but he bounces back up. Tough kid back in there, looking to show a little bit of what he can do.
Now we've got a quarterback change, actually, Matt. That is now Sage Atwood who took that hit. Sophomore saying, I wish I was still on the sideline. That was a heck of a hit he took from Davon Ellison.
Carry by number 22, James Holland.
James Holland with a short pickup.
Number 95, Chris Slayton.
Another tackle by Slayton.
Gain of a yard on the 23-yard line. Third down and 7.
Well, for Colgate from here, they've got next weekend off, and then the following Saturday they take on Yale and get back to a level of football that they have been very successful at the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's important to keep in mind. You know, you're out here working through your stuff now. You don't want things to come apart at the seam. Have the turnovers we haven't seen, things like that. Just continue to try to execute your offense. Don't play outside yourself.
Nice looking pass on the rollout by the southpaw quarterback. It's a Colgate first down out to the 38-yard line. It's a good look by Atwood.
Got a nice strong arm there, and as a lefty rolling to his left, that's a throw that works for him.
Owen Rocket, who caught a big pass early in the ball game, makes the reception there. Rocket is the one who scored the 19-yard touchdown on a pass from Jake Melville 6 minutes into the ball game to give Colgate a 7-0 lead. Colgate now 5 of 14 on third downs. It's 1st and 10 Raiders. On the ground again to Holland. Swallowed up by the Syracuse defense for no gain.
Tackled on the play by Zaire Franklin. Yard gain at the 4-yard line, 2nd down and 9.
Well, we talked about the fact that Colgate head coach Dan Hunt is from right here in upstate New York. Grew up actually rooting for Syracuse. And he was actually excited when he heard that Dino Babers got the Syracuse job because he likes watching the brand of football. And then it occurred to him, we play them opening night. He wasn't so happy about it.
Hey, great for Dino. Oh, wait a minute.
Meanwhile, as we've talked about with Coach Babers, he spent